So the lesson for today is finding an equation of a line. So when I first read that, I was like, yes, slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. This is going to be easy. And then I realized every single answer, this entire chapter, has to be in this form, standard form. So we're going to review what that is. In order to get something in standard form, the thing that's tricky is you first have to start in slope-intercept form, with m being your slope and b being your y-intercept, hence why it's called slope-intercept form. Once we get it in slope-intercept form, then we're going to move things around to get it in standard form, which is the ax plus by is equal to c. It just means that there's a number in front of x and y, and then there's going to be a number where c is. The only stipulations are, 1, a must be positive, and number 2, no fractions. Let's get started. So we're going to find an equation and write it in standard form of the line containing the given points. So in order to start this process, I first need to figure out, well, what's the slope? So step one, find slope. So we're going to use our slope formula, y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. This is my x1, this is my y1, this is my x2, this is my y2. Plug them in. y2 is -4. y1 is -5, but it's minus a -5, so it's really +5. And then x2 is 1 minus x1, which is 4. So the slope for this particular problem is 1 all over -3, or just -1/3. Now we got to move on to step number 2. Step number 2, we have to find b, find the y-intercept, so that we can write our formula in slope-intercept form. So we found our slope. We know that m is equal to -1/3. And then we're going to use either of these points as our x and our y. I don't care which ones you use. I'm going to use, I don't know, maybe this one. So I'm using this formula, but instead of writing y, I'm going to write -5, because that came from the point. Instead of writing m, I'm going to write -1/3. Instead of writing x, I'm going to write 4. And now I'm going to solve for my y-intercept. So I have -5 is equal to -4 over 3 plus b. And then I'm going to add 4 over 3 to both sides, which is really just adding 1 1/3 to both sides. And you end up with -3 2/3 is equal to b, which is also, if you want to convert it to improper, I would encourage you to do so, because that'll be helpful later. So my equation in slope-intercept form, y is equal to, my slope was -1/3 x, my y-intercept was -11 over 3. So I'm going to take this finally, and we're going to rearrange things to put it in standard form. So we have y is equal to my slope minus 11 over 3. So I want to get my x and y on the same side. So I'm going to add 1/3, excuse me, to both sides. So I have a positive 1/3 x over here, plus that y, and it's equal to -11 over 3. So I have it in the right order. This is secretly my a. There's a secret one here for my b. That's my c. The other stipulation is my a can't be negative, which it's not. 1/3 is positive, but I can't have any fractions or decimals. So in order to get rid of these fractions, I'm going to multiply by the denominator. And please don't forget to multiply every single piece. So, instead of having 1/3 x, I'm just going to have an x by itself. Instead of having just a y by itself, I'm going to have 3 y's now. And instead of having -11/3, I'm now just going to have -11. And so this guy right here, that's a plus sign, is in standard form. So all of your answers for the practice in class are going to be in standard form, including, try it on your own problem. I want you to find the equations, plural, and you're going to write them in standard form eventually. You're going to have to use slope-intercept form first. And I want you to try to write the lines through point P. So this is point B. Point P, it's going to be your x and your y. And you have to write a line that's parallel to this guy and perpendicular to this guy. So parallel and perpendicular, you might have to rack your brain for that or Google it. Parallel lines have the same slope. So this guy and line A will have the same slope. See if you can remember how to make a line perpendicular. I wish you luck. Godspeed.